And we're also dealing with the social media, which we didn't do enough of.
It's a new day. God damn. What the nigga wanted money.
We got the farmers crying. This one, I just want to let you guys know where we at. We at the farmers crying, military in the street, unemployment for minorities and young people are up. ICE just snatching people. And don't forget, we're watching a genocide live on our phone. But guys, reach out to local Working Families Party, Poor People's Campaign. Try to find your DSA or join a fucking union before the bomb drop. All right. But whenever I gotta just stick to the theme of the show, which is white people be crazy. We just saw some shit go down, some mass shootings, and you can't forget what happened to Kurt. So whenever religious white people go crazy, I gotta reach out to my man so he can break this down for me. So I need to know where to go. Okay. I need to know what type of bullets I should get. But host of the Red Top Report, my man Joe. What's going on, black man?
What is up, Bmore? It's good to be back on the show. It's been a little while. There's been a hell of a lot that's happened, and I think what we're seeing now is a full blown. And again, you know, I take the religious angle on things. I take the pro-white angle on things. That's just kind of something I do. It's kind of been my MO from the
Brother,
very beginning.
I'm witnessing a whole lot of white on white crime, man. You know,
White.
a little too much. You know, you got the Trump on Kimmel.
Yep.
You got the Mormons and if is the guy a Trump guy, you know, that did the stuff with the Mormons and the furry and the white dude on Kurt. So and at the funeral or whatever that shit happened for Kurt. A whole lot of you know, Netanyahu mentioned that Kurt was a very loyal to you know, Judeo-Christian tradition, shit like that. So I started hearing that shit, like, what the fuck is that? And then I'm like, this is America. Like, you would think like Catholics
Well,
would be,
I mean,
you
you
know.
ask a good question, and I think I remember telling you before the interview that I was like, I don't know what this whole crazy thing with Charlie Kirk is, and you know all the conspiracies that are going around and stuff. And I finally decided, no, I'm actually going to speak on this. It's just I don't know. We need to get our black girl. We need to tell her to shut her mouth. We need to tell her that like you are not helping the situation. You're making everybody look like an absolute idiot.
Why?
Because she has been popping off at the mouth saying that she has all of this evidence. She's got videos. She had the letter. And then, by the way, we now read the letter and find out actually Charlie was just as pro-Israel as he was back when I knew him. And she just says things, I think, before she has the information in front of her. This whole idea that Israel got involved and assassinated one of their biggest cheerleaders because
She
he
didn't
was.
say that. She didn't say that.
She didn't say those exact words, but she's heavily implying it, and she's using all of her media contacts, you know, like Tucker Carlson, Dave Smith, to get them to start promoting this low IQ, bizarre, stupid theory that a foreign government was going to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Look, if this was going on, again, she was under the impression Charlie was coming around on Israel. And Charlie probably presented that to her that way because Charlie was a very diplomatic man. He was all about preserving relationships and friendships in the political world. And that's part of that's a kind of a testament to his success and to Turning Point USA's success. And honestly, I respect his ability to do that. I am so comfortable making enemies. I do not give a crap if I make enemies. I don't care who I offend when I talk. And that's why I'm probably never going to be as famous or as connected as Charlie Kirk was. And he was telling Candace what she wanted to hear. And you can see in other text messages that she had with other friends where she's like, I know she's wrong. I want to talk to her about this kind of, you hear all this stuff and, he was literally just trying to be nice. He was trying to be diplomatic and cordial to her friend, but he was a huge cheerleader of Israel. You read his letter to Netanyahu, it reads like a love letter to Israel. Oh, please change your PR tactics. Oh, I want to help you. I want to put together this entire network of social media influencing for you guys. I think you guys should be putting more money into Hasbara. And it's like, that's not what Candace said that letter was. She said that it was not a nice letter to Netanyahu. It was a very nice letter to Netanyahu. Was he critical of strategy? Yes, but why? Not because he was coming around to the question that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza, something that him and I have always respectfully, obviously disagreed on, but instead said that they need a better apparatus to show that the genocide isn't actually happening, which to his defense, I think he believes that. I think he does believe that. But when Candace says these kinds of ththings, and now she says she has videos proving it. She said she had videos proving it as well. Where are the videos? It's been 20 days. You're trying because again, I was friends with Charlie. A lot of people all around us were friends with Charlie Kirk. And all we ask is that she produces evidence. And nobody at Turning Point likes Candace Owens right now. They're all very upset with her. They're all very angry. Yet, here we are, right now, waiting again for more evidence from Candace Owens, every piece of which that she has released. She said that he was pressured by Bill Ackman. Turns out that Bill Ackman was invited to that meeting. It was a routine Turning Point event. It wasn't an intervention. It wasn't some attempt to get him to change his views on Israel. It was none of those things. And there was no $150 million offer from Netanyahu to give to Turning Point. None of these things turned out to be true.
So even the part when they allegedly lost their biggest sponsor or donor.
I mean, the letter is a kind of a tell-all that they didn't. Don't you think? They weren't losing Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was begging to be heard so he could help.
Sir, I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole with you. I didn't want to do that.
No, but we can get back to the subject. I just wanted to make that clear.
I want to figure out why is the influence so powerful, and do you think there's a spiritual war going on?
Ooh, you invited the right person. Yes, absolutely. I'm of a firm believer that in the United States of America, there is kind of an inverse power relationship between Catholics and Jews. And I've talked about this just on a societal level. You'll see that as Catholic power rises in a civilization, Jewish power kind of decreases. So when you see in America that's strongly Catholic, Jews tend to have less power and less influence over a civilization. And what we're seeing right now in the United States, for the first time in decades, you're seeing that there are more Catholics joining the church than there are leaving the church. And you're seeing a ridiculous spike in conversions to Catholicism, the likes of which we've never seen. So when we combine all of those factors together, what was the first act of violence that you saw occur following the release of those numbers? The Annunciation Catholic Church shooting. And again, and how did the media present it? The media that is overwhelmingly influenced by Jews. What did they say? They called it the Annunciation school shooting. Now, if you look at a map of that property, you can see that there is a school at the property and there were students at church, but that is a separate building all the way on the other side of the complex. The man, and let me stress this just enough so everybody knows what I'm saying. The man that shot up that Catholic church just so happened to have a full-fledged diagram of the inside of that Catholic church. And yet, when he walked in front of the church, he couldn't go inside of the church. He shot through the stained glass windows while there was a bunch of little children worshiping Jesus Christ in the flesh, as Catholics profess to believe. And they die a bloodbath in front of Jesus Christ in the flesh. And this guy writes in his diary blasphemies against the Catholic Church. He writes it on the magazines of his gun. He has a picture of Jesus on a target. And people in the media had the gall, had the nerve to call this clear anti-Catholic hate crime. Hate crime. If there was ever such thing as a hate crime, it's this. Call it a school shooting. Purposeful misdirection with an intent. It's just another school shooting. It's just another white dude going into a school and doing the shooting. And also, what they neglected to put in all of the major news reports on this, even though it was publicly available, I know because I was able to get access to it, and I don't have half of the resources that anybody at Fox News, CNN, or MSNBC has. He has drawn pictures of himself looking at his own reflection and seeing a demon in his own reflection. Drawings in his notebook, and they translated the Cyrillic code that he wrote his letters in to find out that he was terrified internally, saying that he believed that he was possessed by a little g God and was doing things and didn't remember what happened by the end of it.
Hold on, sir. One more minute. We have one more minute. But so what is the revenge? What was the revenge?
The revenge?
Yeah,
from Satan.
The retaliation after the shooting.
I don't think that there was revenge after this shooting. I think it started a chain of demonic attacks. I don't think that anybody sought to go get revenge for what he did on the Catholic side. And this is kind of what I'm getting at here. The devil is angry that people are returning to the church. And I think that this is true of Protestants too. I think all across America, young people are going back to church, and this has angered the devil. And there are people that have fully embraced evil, that have allowed it to enter their soul, and in some cases even allow it to control their actions. And this is the spiritual battle. This is where the spiritual battle becomes temporal. It's when a person embraces evil to that degree and allows it to either inspire or be completely controlled by a being beyond our capacity to do an unspeakable evil. And what does that do? That emboldens all the other demons in the country, all the other demons around us that live among us. It emboldens them. It wants them to whisper more of those sweet, diabolical nothings into other crazy people's ears. And what better way to devolve the situation quicker than to make it something, how do I put it? Than to make it something that is political, to make it something that cries out for retaliation, as you were saying before. Putting all of those things together, do you not see what's happening right now in the United States of America? We have forces beyond our comprehension, beyond our own intellects, orchestrating attacks on the American people, orchestrating divisions among the American people. And it leads to death.
Damn. Well, we got to end it with that. That is Joe from the Red Top Report. Check him out on YouTube. The man is in very high demand. Go check him out. God damn, my man was dropping heat. Is it the last days? We don't know. But there's a lot of shit that's going on, man, because we have this government shutdown. But we got my man Henry Marks, Hen Dog. What's up with you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Long time no see. It's been a few months. A lot of my takes last episode aged like milk. So hopefully I can redeem myself today.
But it's all good, man. It's all good. You here with Ish Talk. But we have the government shutdown. You're from Ward 6, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So DC, they just been getting hit and hit. So we got this government shutdown. Basically, to me, it's going to be Doge 2.0. They're cutting a lot of programs, and I think they're actually using this the shutdown to get more programs cut, FEMA, food stamps, all that shit. But how has DC taken it? Because I just saw that the federal workers 700,000 on furloughed. Trump loves that shit. Having somebody work and they don't get paid. Trump loves that shit. What you think, man?
Yeah, so to begin with, all of the programs that Republicans are threatening to cut, all of that's just straight up illegal. Are they going to do it? Probably. Um, but we don't want to start with the pretense that any of this is normal or any of this is legal. And yeah, DC's going to take a hit, right? Now, DC government's going to stay open. The DC courts, thank God, are going to stay open. WMATA's going to stay open because DC can actually pass a budget and manage its money, unlike Congress.
Mm.
But it's going to be really hard for the for all of the federal workers in DC. But honestly, I'm more worried about those in Virginia. Um, and having this happen while ballots are being sent out for the Virginia gubernatorial is going to be real interesting.
Mm. On when it comes to the Republican, the female, what's the chick name? Windsor,
Wins, yeah,
Winston.
win some,
Yeah.
yeah. Look, I think if you're a federal worker, chances are you probably can't get baited easily. Um,
Oh hell no, man! I see the Westmore. He came out. He had an email talking about where all these people, where federal workers can get resources. They have a lot of there's a lot of resources out there for federal workers. They do get
yeah,
they get the so some not I'm not gonna say like special treatment, but you saw what he did last time.
yeah, and I think this is probably it for Winsome Sears Earle's campaign.
Hmm.
You're going to take a bunch of federal workers that were already probably voting blue and really piss them off.
I'm not sure if
So
she
at this,
spoke
of
out about it.
course, she didn't. Although you should go look up what happened to her lieutenant governor candidate. Um, it involves two words you would never think you'd see together. I'll give you a minute. I'll find his name.
Oh, he was watching trans porn,
Nazi.
Nazi porn.
Yeah, no, you got. Yeah, it's not surprising, but also it's really.
About the closeted conservative.
Yeah, I mean, like this is Mark Robinson 2.0.
It's
You
like
know,
you guys be so much against it, you know, you know. But
but yeah, no, you're you're right. It's gonna kick the shit out of the district, and
mm,
that's part of the point.
back to back hits, and so you would think your leadership, Chuck Schumer, what are they doing? Hakeem or APAC, Jeffries. Let's see what they're doing or what they had to say about the shutdown. And let me ask you, what do you think that it's their leverage? This is like they have some leverage when it comes to this because they need a couple people, couple Democrats to vote on some shit, right? So you would think, hey, um, maybe you can extend some Obamacare stuff like that. You know what Trump said? Go fuck yourself. But what do you think? Is there any leverage that they can do?
Yeah, look, like you're in a really tough position if you're Schumer or Jeffries. I don't want that job. But you basically have to recognize right now everything Trump is doing is totally unchecked. The Supreme Court basically let him get away with 20 straight cases before finally sort of blocking something yesterday. And so you're stuck, right? You got to do something. You have to pick a stand. Healthcare is your most popular issue. But then you have to realize who gets hurt in a shutdown. Well, one, right, the federal government closes. Republicans don't like government, so that's a win for them. And who gets screwed over? It's federal workers in DC, who Republicans also hate. And so it's not a good option, you know, right? But I sort of think it's the only option right now.
Let me show you what Trump said. Basically, he said the quiet part out loud.
Democrat Party, when they have a 33% favorability rating on average in recent months, and they're willing to shut down the government over healthcare.
They are shutting it down. We're not shutting it down. We don't want it to shut down because we have the greatest period of time ever. I told you, we have $17 trillion being invested. So the last person that wants it shut down is us now. With that being said, we can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them.
I mean, he's not lying. He's gonna do stuff that can't be blocked. You know, he has a ton of leverage with a closed government and essentially carte blanche without the legislative branch.
Come on, brother. You got to give me something, man. You got to give me something
No,
to believe in
look.
the Democrats, something, man.
No, look.
We got what is Chuck Schumer going to do? He's going to send like a strong worded letter or something like that.
No, he might even send two of them. Look, the American people decided this is what they want, and look, it's what they're gonna get until 2026. You know, there are ways to stand up. I do think this is an important fight, right? The only fight the Democrats are picking is over the ACA subsidies. All they want to do is give Americans back the same quality of health care they have expected for the last 15 years. That's all. And it is not their fault that congressional Republicans would rather tear it all down than prevent the American people from getting the health care they deserve.
Well, Donald Trump is doing what we all want. We want less government spending. If you want to spend $1 trillion on healthcare, then go ahead. Their CR is not clean. It's the dirtiest CR I've ever seen. We only need 7 votes. If we get those 7 votes, then we can continue government operations as normal, and we won't have any of these healthcare issues. And on the healthcare point, Trump is looking to give $50 billion to rural healthcare services in order to help lower income people.
Okay, brother. Those hospitals in those rural areas are going to get crushed. Those are a whole lot of jobs. Even the farmers are complaining now.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, well, you're talking about farmers and you're talking about people getting crushed. I'm talking about
Trump
full
supporters.
facts here. No. According to John Thune's plan, we are going to be giving billions of dollars to rural health care. Okay? $50 billion. That's because of who? Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and John Thune. All right. Now, those are bare facts. I'm sorry if they don't fit in with your liberal agenda, but those are the bare facts.
There's no way, because have you seen those town halls when all those Republicans, they don't even do town halls no more because they already feel neglected, or they basically Trump just put their, kicked them in the ass with the Epstein stuff. The wars. He said he's going to end the wars.
Then they ran up the
and then this big
Epstein
beautiful
files.
bill.
All right.
But at the same time, I need my Democrats to do some shit, have a backbone. This is what they do. They try to both sides. They try to keep us tame. They try to give us watch football. Give us drugs and give us all this shit just to calm us down. But right now, man, my rent is up. My gas bill is up. My Baltimore Ravens, they're getting their ass kicked. And basically the Democrats are just like the Baltimore Ravens. They you only as good as your opponent. And right now, especially when it comes to this fantasy football, Lamar is playing.
Whoa. It's fine to say, make comments about the Democratic Party, but comparing them to the Baltimore Ravens, I think crosses a line. If another one of my wide receivers tears their ACL in the next week, my laptop is going through my window.
Hey, yo,
Um,
how's your team doing?
okay. No, I'm just gonna get this over with quick. I lost Malik Neighbors, I lost Tyreek Hill, and I lost by point 0.4 points. I needed 16 from Cortland Sutton. He had 14 in the first half and didn't touch the ball for the final 30 minutes of the game. So that's how life's going. Um,
Oh, and Lamar is going to be,
yep.
he's doing good, but just his team is just fucked up.
And he's hurt, and he's on my fantasy team, and Bucky Irving's on my fantasy team, and I'm just gonna give up if it
Yeah,
keeps going this way.
so I think it's best to just let that, you might have to let that shit go, man. That's what I'm saying. We gotta let this shit go with the Democrats, man. Um,
He, yeah.
so what do you think that the Democrats can do right now to get things going?
Oh, it's rough, right? Even when the Democratic Party was most successful during Trump won was in the courts, and fact is, even
Oh,
when they're winning in lower courts, Supreme Court is stepping in using. You've heard of what's called the shadow docket.
now break that down. Or
Okay, so
no, Noah, have you heard?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, so basically, the shadow docket is where the court makes rulings without signed opinions, without letting you know which justice voted what. And so the court has used that to basically pause a ton of lower court rulings. They'll see a 150-page Court of Appeals ruling striking down a Trump program, and then in 3 words, they'll just overturn it. And so when Democrats have lost that leverage, right, things are going downhill. Another place Democrats found success in Trump one was an largely independent Department of Justice that was actually following the facts and the law.
mm.
This one is not, right? And so, we saw them. Did you see this Tom Homan shit?
No, what happened?
So Tom Homan is Trump's border czar, and he took $50,000
Oh,
in a kava bag, just straight up in front of FBI agents, promising to steer contracts if Trump won again. And then the DOJ, just 2 weeks later,
mm.
let it go. Once Trump was in office, it's done with. And so the fact is that there are fewer leverage points this term than they were the last. But there's still one big one, and we're going to see in the Virginia gubernatorial
Oh,
exactly what that leverage point is, and that's the people. And I know, the Democratic Party is unpopular right now. They're not doing much to help it, but Democrats were even more unpopular at this point in Trump won. So I do think we'll see in 2026 a big swing.
yeah. So everything is up to Virginia, huh?
Oh God, I hate that idea.
Yeah.
Um, no,
Uh,
but I do think we'll see in Virginia a big win for Abigail Spanberger.
mm. Noah, are you familiar with the racing going on in Virginia? What's your thoughts?
I think I think that Winsome Sears has a very, very, very good chance. I think she's a great candidate. Ab Abigail's Abigail is just one of the worst candidates I've ever seen. I mean, almost everything that comes out of her mouth is ridiculously toxic and just stupid and not informed with any sort of policy at all. Abigail needs to sit down somewhere, maybe go and teach in a classroom about politics, because that's where people who can't do go. They go and teach. So maybe she could teach a course on political science, but she really doesn't deserve to be anywhere near the governor's mansion in Virginia.
Jesus Christ. That's who I got to win, man. Henry, we're gonna give you the last word, brother.
Uh, Look, I mean, ultimately, I learned my lesson a few months ago, right? I'm not going to talk up all this shit and then watch the election results come in. But I think Virginia will do the talking for me.
Okay. All right. So we got Oh man, you every show I have with you gets bleaker and bleaker, man. But no, but you okay. That's my man, Hen Dog. Uh uh Chairman of Ward 6, Young Democrats, Henry Marks. Thank you for stopping by Ish Talk, man. And I pray for your fantasy football, buddy. I'm gonna
Thank
pray
you,
for
sir.
you. I'm gonna pray
Great
for
to
you.
stop by.
All right, peace. And the brother that we have right now is my guest, is a Western Journal editorialist and Turning Point chapter president, Noah Witherspoon. Noah, that brother, I mean, the person that y'all got to take Kurt's spot is I don't think he don't got the vibe, man. What does the young people say? I don't think he got, what do you guys say? The Riz or whatever that shit?
America, Rylan Hollyhan's here, about 30,000 feet up. We are on the way to Arkansas. So everybody in line at the University of Arkansas to kick off my 10-stop campus tour. We are coming to you right here, right now. Stay in line. We have gotten a third room because we have sold out this campus stop 3 times. But we are coming to you. We will fit you in. Students will get priority, but we will make it happen. I cannot be more excited. We are back. We are on the road. We're coming to you one conversation at a time. If you're not at the University of Arkansas, we're coming to a campus near you soon. So check out my tour dates. We'll see you super soon.
No, I certainly don't say that.
Okay. But I want to get you to talk about the Supreme Court decision on deportations, and a lot of stuff coming up has something to do with Trump stuff, Trump related. So I want to get you there because you're a Trump man. But first, I gotta let you. I want to let you know what's going on, buddy. We got people getting snatched up from the street without any due process. Farmers crying. They got medals in the baby food. What else? Unemployment is up with minorities. The military is in the street. But you want to tell me that Trump cutting Medicare, Obamacare is a good thing?
Well, what I would like to tell you is that we can look from historical analysis at what more government spending has created. If you look at the UK, they have the NHS. They run a $600 million deficit. That means they're losing money. If you would propose that we continue to fund Obamacare, continue to fund Medicare in an eternal spiral of losing money and just absolute loss, then I'd honestly respect you a lot more. But if you're saying that this is going to be a useful government project, it simply isn't, because then we will end up with some of the worst waiting lines in all of American history, and we'll have a situation like the NHS has right now, and just like Keir Starmer has. Now, on deportation, the Supreme Court has ruled that lawful deportations can take place, and these lawful deportations may not be pretty. They may not be aesthetically pleasing, but guess what? These are illegal aliens. These are criminals, and every other country does this. Italy is locking down on immigration. Germany is locking down on immigration. All of these beautiful, fabulous European countries, even the EU is backing Trump in this, and they're the most moderate there is. Ursula von der Leyen. Need I say more? I mean, even the most moderate of moderates on the world stage are backing Trump in his efforts. Do you want to know why? Because it's common sense. All right, it's common sense. Get these criminals off the streets, get them back to their home countries, and Trump is even doing them a favor. If you self-deport, you get a few bucks. I mean, what's better than that? Why wouldn't you? Right? I mean, everyone loves money, so why not self-deport? All right, but half of all deportees are people who do self-deport. So I see absolutely no problem with this. Now, the very, very small minority of them that are like being raided at Home Depot now, okay, that's not aesthetically pleasing, but they are criminals, in all fairness. Now on everything else, everything being up, I'm sorry about that, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. The world market is different from the domestic market, and Donald Trump is trying to fix the world market. You have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, and he's currently breaking those eggs. The omelet is going to be a beautiful, strong currency that is ruling the world and that is backed with amazing trade deals. That is going to be the omelet for us. And I can't wait. Any more questions?
Brother, you're so wrong. You're talking like
I'm
a savage. We talking about humans here that's fighting for medication. Uh, you know, people are dying out there without health care. But I have my second guest. He's a co-founder of SIE Wellness, Dr. Dante Daniel. Is it C or is it SIE Wellness?
It's Sea Wellness.
C Wellness.
Yeah.
Brother, I know you saw the story of the DC. Well, he used to be a principal in DC, but he was in another state somewhere. He's from Guyana. And people are like, how in the hell did he get his job? But anyway, he got deported. ICE came up on him, they ran up on him, they found drugs and money. And when it comes to stuff like that, did the dude deserve to get, deported like that? If it was up to Noah, hell yes. But it's kind of I'm up there, up and down with it. But when it comes to deporting college students, Mahmoud Khalil, I think that's his name, pro-Palestine, or he just said something. He wrote something about it.
Right, he wrote something.
And his life got fucked up from that. And then now the Supreme Court, what Noah said, that it's okay to do raids and to arrest people. I mean, for ICE to get people just off of race and language. So, what's your thoughts on that? And how do we, how we get to this spot?
Well, we got here because the voters showed up for Trump. So that's the basis of this. But
no, the Democrats could have finished the layup. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a layup. But ultimately he won the popular vote this time, is all I'm saying. Basically, like, they showed up for him better than ever, even his first election. But in reality, I feel like when the Constitution, I just feel like it's a disregard for when it's convenient. So we have Republicans. We're ignoring due process. So I'll give you DC for an example, right? I'm about to now go. So we'll talk about all these arrests, right? And we're using DC as propaganda, right? Like you're somewhat saying that, oh, there were over this many arrests over this specific amount of time, right? Not inquiring. There's no follow through. There's no follow up with what actually occurred with those arrests. A lot of these arrests are being dismissed because of Fourth Amendment violations, due process, right? Like, which is why you need the Supreme Court to be able to say, well, you could pull somebody over on the basis of race, because we have a biased Supreme Court as of right now. Like, it's evident, and but again, you know we want to disregard the Constitution in regard to immigration, but then we want to disregard it when it comes to your First Amendment and what Jimmy Kimmel could, but then we want to enforce the Constitution or infringe upon somebody's employment when they speak freely on their social media platform about the death of Charlie Kirk, for example. So it's a bunch of hypocrisy occurring right now. It's obviously now it's not about politicking to understand and compromise. It's now politicking to win, like by any means necessary. And I'm not a fan of it. And while we're here on the interior or here on homeland, looking at another fellow American as an enemy, we're completely ignorant of what's occurring around us, right? Like, we're occurring what likely or possible enemies we can have elsewhere, because we're in-house fighting, and no household wins when they're in the house when mother and father are fighting in the household. No household win. Nobody wins. So
Mm.
we have generations of we have college students. No, I don't know if you're in college, but you look like you are. Um, we have college students, we have high school students, we have these younger generations looking at us in-house fight or have domestic violence. What do you think is going to come of this? You know, it's like generational violence. Like it's stupidity, literally, because people want to win by any means necessary. And in reality, if you look, look at polls, like traditionally people think pretty objectively about things, right? But now politics has become fanship, where somebody will now double down on reading whatever their media provider provides them, right? Whatever their media source is, memorize these statistics and these numbers, not work a day in it, not interact with any politicians, just double down on what they read by Fox News or by CNN, and then recite it for a podcast or something like that. When in reality, you lose your rationality and and what you're voicing. Like people should have access to healthcare. That is just a given. Like I pay taxes so my unemployed 18-year-old sister can have health insurance because she's not going to be covered by her mother because she doesn't have her mother. You see what I'm saying? Like she should be entitled to health insurance. I don't mind a portion of my taxes being paid so she's covered. Like it's okay. Like it is okay. Like we're playing with people's livelihoods. When you arrest people, when you uh when you polarize the general public like this and there's violence because of this, like you're not thinking rationally anymore. Like like this is not a game. We get one life at this. We get one chance at this thing called life. And to allow people who you will never engage with, who are literally 1% and are millionaires. Speaker Mike Johnson's son goes to Gonzaga High School. That is one of the best high schools in the country.
It's in
You
DC,
know how
right?
many of us that are in-house fighting and on college campuses and da 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 will never attend Gonzaga or have our children go to Gonzaga or our grandchildren won't go to Gonzaga. But yet his pockets is full while we're out here broke as a joke fighting for our lives. You see what I'm saying?
Let me,
Like just think for a second and see what's going on.
Noah,
Like
do you
why
think,
why would you want to bash your fellow neighbor, your fellow person that is in your economic bracket, and excuse my language, but shit on him and allow these old men, old white men, to have you believe that taking away healthcare from millions of people and having 15% cuts and violating someone's Fourth Amendment and due process and pulling them over on the basis of race, which could be any one of us,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
okay. Like I don't understand how you could be that manipulated. And it
I
just
want,
goes
I
to show
want,
that
I
this is
wanted to get
fantasy.
to,
I'm sorry.
I
I was
wanted to get to, I wanted to get to you cooking. I wanted to get to birthright citizenship, but I want to ask Noah. I want you to react to what he said, and do you think healthcare should be a
Well,
given?
sure, but healthcare for all is a stupid policy point, and I'll tell you why. This has been litigated by some of the world's greatest theorists. I mean, Roger Scruton talked about it a lot in many of his writings, especially in How to Be a Conservative, which is one of his best books. Highly recommend. Anyways, all of this stuff has been tested. We've seen the effects of healthcare for all, free food for all, money for all. Then
It
you get
worked.
societies like the USSR, and then we know what happened to them. They fell in the 1990s. So I don't want to hear any of this healthcare for all crap, any of this bull crap. I mean, it's ridiculous. And if you want to be taxed out of your entire life savings, go ahead. But personally, I don't want to. Number two, the Supreme Court is not biased. If you saw their opinion in Trump v. Casa, that was one of the least biased opinions I've ever read from anything on the court. That is one of the least biased opinions I've ever seen in this entirety of the Roberts Court. Now, if you want to talk about biased opinions, look at some of the opinions from the Warren Court. I mean, those were absolutely stinking. Those were stenchy bias. I mean, ridiculous stuff. This is one of the least biased courts we've ever had in American history. Number three, I don't live in an echo chamber. I read The Atlantic every morning. I watch MSNBC. I watch CNN. I drown myself in opposition news, and then I try to prove them wrong with actual important evidence, right? And it just so happens that every single time I do that, I find another stat to refute what they're saying. So I am on the right side of history, and I do believe that I am. On those 3 points, you failed, and I'm very sorry that you did.
I get it. You called the media outlets opposition. You're proving my point. You're not seeking.
Yes, well, I don't.
You're not seeking.
I don't live in an echo chamber, so.
Right. You're not. I don't either. I actually work in politics, so I view a vast amount, which is why. But again,
well, I work in news.
I don't call any media outlet opposition. So right there, you somewhat failed me. You literally are watching to debate them or counter them instead of watching to understand.
Isn't that what an intellectually engaged mind should do? Would you just sit there?
No, that's called a combative. That's a combative conversation. I'm listening to understand.
I don't.
That's why.
I think it's a combative conversation.
Myself more so a moderate, and because I understand some Republican takes. I never said healthcare for all.
You said free healthcare for all. You did.
No, I didn't say that. I said everyone should be entitled to healthcare, and I know that Obamacare was highly successful, and now we're pulling it back.
Obamacare was highly successful. Did you see the deficit we ran on that?
16% of Americans were uninsured in 2010, and I believe something that it dropped to about 9% of Americans.
Obamacare was a big, expensive mess. That's what it was. The waiting lines were ridiculous. Everything was absolutely awful. The website alone was a disaster. Everything about Obamacare failed.
Any government website. Look at the pandemic and unemployment. Have you read?
These are facts. I know you don't like them, but here they are.
Have you read the book Coding America? Then it lets you know about government infrastructures via IT. Like
I haven't read a lot of books from the liberal milieu. I'm sorry, but I can tell you that I do read the Atlantic every morning. So
okay, the man reads the Atlantic every morning. We got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just telling you, I do listen to a lot of opposition news. I don't live,
and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to listen to the other side. That's what you're supposed to do.
To combat the opposition.
we got like 4 more minutes. Can I ask y'all about birthright citizenship because it's coming up? The boy, I'm not sure if it's your boy Noah, Clarence Thomas. He recently came out and said like he doesn't mind, going against like old president shit. So when it comes to and
precedent isn't gospel. Yes.
Yes, sir. So this thing with the birthright citizenship. So basically they're saying that people that doesn't really includes immigrants. That's what it's saying. That's what Trump is trying to do.
Well, that's what the right wing is trying to illustrate.
I just wanted to say that I don't really mind that part. But is this go ahead, Noah. I don't mind I don't mind with this one, but I just think that it's going to end up affecting Black people.
I have no clue how, because the amendment was originally written for slaves. It was meant to guarantee citizenship for slaves.
But they're already picking up people and just putting them in different places. But go ahead.
I think that you're misunderstanding what's happening there. What they're doing is they're taking them in for questioning. If they're not an illegal alien, if they're not a foreign national, then they would release them. Okay. I do birthright citizenship. There is an interesting argument to be made. Now, originally, I think that we should look at it from that standpoint. I am of the school of thought of Antonin Scalia, a true warrior of legal textualism. And if we look at the literal text, it does not guarantee rights to children of foreign nationals. Actually, that is one of the largest stretches I've ever seen. All right. I do believe, like Clarence Thomas said, precedent is not gospel, just like we reversed Plessy v. Ferguson with the Brown versus the Board of Education. I think that we could do the same thing here. I think Trump v. Casa was a massive mistake.
Dante, what's your thoughts on birthright citizenship in this Supreme Court?
I mean, it says all persons born or naturalized in the United States. So, I mean, it's it's
But
pretty
you know what we be working
straightforward.
with right now, buddy.
You know, you're either an originalist or you're not, right? Like I think he said he was a textualist, but it literally says all persons born are naturalized in the United States. What else you want me to do? If you want to separate parent from child, then so be it. Have that on your conscience. I get it. Do what you do. But
They couldn't let that happen.
the opposition,
This is not-
unfortunately for the opposition, then you have to live with that. But the child is a citizen. It is that simple. Like I don't know what the issue is, you know.
But they're
If you
saying
didn't want
that the
that,
people
if
are
you didn't
using
want it to
that.
be that,
They're saying people are
go.
using that just to come over and have babies. Well, go ahead, anchor babies.
What that mean? White people do it too. And then
Um,
people can be pulled over on the basis of race. What
mm,
white people get pulled over?
mm.
There's illegal Canadians here right now.
How come
There's
they ain't getting
literally
roughed up?
And I
white
believe
people
that they
come here
need
How
to
come
with
they ain't
babies
getting roughed
too.
up?
Germans come over here, have babies too. I know Germans that came over here on a work permit and got pregnant and had a child that did that. I was stationed in Germany. I know the females that did it. They would come here to babysit a kid. That's what they came here to do.
They ain't snatched their snitch out their hand.
So, you know, to make this, you know, I think, you know, you also have to have some life experience, but yeah, I mean, all types of races are doing it. If we want to say we're trying to make it applicable to only brown and brown people, brown and black people, but again, all are applicable. Does it all, you know? So if this is going to be applicable, then make sure it's applicable to all. And like you said, it could affect slaves, right? Like, I mean, descendants of black people. Why not? Why not? They weren't citizens at the time. When they created some slaves, there were grandmas that had children
Are we
who
just
didn't have
forgetting?
children, right?
Are we
Right?
forgetting about the reunion of the Confederacy and the Union? I mean, there are legal aspects and complexes in place to protect rights of Black citizens. If you're denying that, then you're simply denying the Constitution. We don't live under the Articles of Confederation anymore. I mean, we don't. All right. So you can miss me with all that crap. What's actually happening right now is that people are being locked up and shipped back to their country willingly or unwillingly, because that's how it goes. Countries are cracking down on illegal immigration. And if you don't want us to, then we could be dealing with what the UK is dealing with, which is an overflow of illegal immigrants terrorizing our streets. Do you want that?
What do you mean? Didn't the church just get shot up by a white man?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That is completely irrelevant to this discussion, and I believe
How is
all
that? You just said a
criminals should
terror
be in prison.
You just said a terror to the streets. Like you literally just said criminals. And literally the two mass shootings.
Criminals should be
The
locked
two
up
most, hold
wherever
on,
they are,
hold on, let me
whatever
finish.
color they
The
are.
two most recent mass shootings were by
Yeah.
done American white men. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Okay. Yeah. So that's
simply
facts.
because of the quantity of their simply because of the quantity of their demographic. And if you don't understand simple logistics,
come on, man.
then
No,
don't
man.
engage in a conversation
Guys,
with me. All right.
Okay. But that's two. We know two things for sure. Noah reads the Atlantic and white people be shooting. All right. So I just want to give a shout out to Turning Point Chapter President Noah Witherspoon and my other second guest, co-founder of C Wellness, Dr. Dante Daniel. Guys, thank you for this discussion. And I just hope my mother's and my father's healthcare don't get cut.
Oh, they didn't cut Medicare.
Okay. But
Yeah,
thank you guys.
that. That's the voters.
Noah, love that. All right, guys. Peace out. Thank you.
Y'all take care. Take care, Noah.
I'm not scared, but shit is getting real. But only thing we gonna have to do is stay black and die. All right. We be back. Stay black.